So the Vivo Y20 series, the Vivo Y20, Y20S, the Y20G. I'm talking about the Vivo Y20 series, all three versions, but with just one phone, because I mean there's just like very little difference between the three versions. So I'm able to talk about all three of them with just holding just one phone. But then shout out to Redblocks, Nismo Hub, and Eskin Kojo being the first three comments of the last video. The Galaxy A32 4G, actually put that in the description below for you to go check that video out. Interesting review by my paddy Del P. Go check that out. Give some love, show some love, however you want to do with the love. And these guys, if they have channels, we'll link them in the description below. If they don't, stalk them on social media, follow them, like, just show them some love on social media, and let's see who gets the first three spots in the comment section this time around. But without further ado, let's move on to the Vivo Y20 series. Okay, so looking at the design, okay, just talking a little about it. Nothing interesting about it other than it's a fingerprint magnet. Look at that. But then it's made of plastic, as is every cheap entry-level, most mid-ranges as well. So made of plastic, but then you'd think twice, is it made of plastic or is that glass? It's deception. That's what it is. It's deception. It looks shiny, glossy, reflective, but it's plastic. I mean, you could easily tell plastic back on the itel 16 compared to this one, because that's definitely, you can easily see that it's plastic, plus it has the fingerprint scanner at the back, which I'm going to talk about in a bit. But then the display looks somewhat like the itel 16, water drop notch, same amount of chain, I think the same display size. But then the back, plastic, glass, nothing interesting thing though is the fingerprint position, the fingerprint scanner. It's not at the back, obviously. Definitely is not on the display, because I mean you need a lot more than LCD panel, 720p LCD to achieve that display, the fingerprint scanner on the display. But then it's on the side of the phone, and also on that same side we have the volume rocker buttons, which is, I mean, all you need is a thumb, and then you'll be able to easily stress-free access all of them. You have the power button, fingerprint scanner, and volume rocker buttons on the same side. You don't have the fingerprint scanner on the back, power button on the right, volume rocker buttons on the left, scattered everywhere around the phone. You have it on one side. All you need is a thumb. I mean, it will suck if you're left-handed, or if you don't have a thumb. If you're right-handed and you don't have a thumb. So that's just one kudos to Vivo. So the security features are just, they're very fast. Fingerprint scanner and the Face ID, both very fast. And I mean, it's an entry-level phone. I was kind of thinking it's gonna have a little delay time, but then there was no significant lagginess or slow down in, you know, unlocking the phone using the Face ID or the fingerprint scanner. So really fast. And so I mean, that's a second kudos to Vivo on the security. So now, what are the differences between the three versions of the phone, the Vivo Y20, Y20S, and the Y20G? The Y20 and the Y20S were released 2 months apart, in August and then October last year, and then the Y20G was released in January 2021 this year. Now the difference between, they're pretty much the same phone, all three of them, same design, same specs, same everything, but the difference between last year's versions, Y20, Y20S, is storage size. Same specs, everything, but just the storage size. The Y20 doesn't come with 128 gigs of storage, stops at 64, but the Y20S gets a 128 gigs of storage, so an improvement there. Easily put that in one phone and just increase the price slightly, so we know we're getting, we're increasing the price because we are getting a 128 gig version of the Y20. You don't put that on a separate phone thinking it's a big deal. You go get it and it's pretty much the same as the 2 months ago, you understand? And then 3 months later, in January, they released the Y20G. The reason for the G there is because it has a newly improved processor. Now it doesn't come with the Snapdragon 410 like the previous two versions. It does come with the Helio G80, like what we see in the Camon 15, Techno Camon 15, what we see in the Infinix Note 8, right? Yeah, Infinix Note 8. And interesting processor. I actually talked about that a couple of times on this channel. Interesting processor, what the Helio G80. But then that is what we have on the Vivo Y20G. So you're going to get a little bit of speed, a lot more speed on that version than the first two versions. But that's kind of like the only difference between that and then the previous version, the Y20S, and then the Y20 that was released. So I don't see any reason why in 6 months you have to release 3 phones or with just very little differences amongst them. But that's just Vivo, I mean. So the final 10 here is the camera, and very interesting camera they have here, and I think I'm not going to really trash it out or say stuff about it, but then I think it's perfect for the range that the smartphone falls in. They're not trying to do something above their level to try to make it look like a very high mid-ranger, but then it's just an entry-level phone. So I think the camera just suits its level and its range, being an entry-level to a mid-range level phone, and the camera just fits that department. So nothing much about the camera. You're not going to be getting super, you know, portrait, super stabilization. I mean, there's no OIS, and it's very cheap to get that. On a typical basis, I would actually use the phone I'm reviewing to shoot the video, just to explain or show you how good the camera is with minimal amount of light. But then that's if, just on one condition, that's if the camera is better than what I use to shoot on a normal basis. I use the Galaxy S7 to shoot my videos. If just like I did with the Galaxy S21 Plus last 2 weeks, 2 weeks ago, I used that to shoot because I had a better camera than the Galaxy S21, the Galaxy S7, sorry. So I used that to shoot the video, just to show you how good it was compared to Galaxy S7 that I use all the time. But now I can't use this one because the Galaxy S7 is way better than this, although the Galaxy S7 is going to be 5 years in March 11th. Look at that. If you also have a birthday on March 11th, how about we check that out in the comments below so we can know how to organize the whole ceremony for this, with the main man being the Galaxy S7. Without further ado, I think I'm just gonna end it here. Nothing much about the phone, although one of the two things I didn't really like is the versions that they released in 6 months without any much improvement, and also the FunTouch OS with its complicated menu in the settings, and everything is just trashy when you get to the settings. And other than that, I think the phone really suits its purpose. They're not trying to achieve anything like a super high-end phone. And also I do like how fast the fingerprint and the Face ID is, and the position of the fingerprint, the volume rocker buttons and the power button alongside the, or integrated with the fingerprint scanner. Everything is on the right side, and as I said, if you don't have a thumb, it's going to really suck for you, or if you are left-handed. Other than that, nothing much with the phone. It fits perfectly in its category of entry-level to mid-range level smartphone. Nothing much about it, so I'm just gonna end it here. Keep wearing a mask. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out and stay safe.